Hello, good morning, and welcome to Rebel Base. So, this is our very first video tutorial on this YouTube channel. And I ended up creating this channel with the intent of sharing my experiences and knowledge regarding software engineering, especially in web development and game development. So, I will be talking a lot about Laravel, PHP and Laravel, JavaScript, and Vue, Node.js, Tailwind CSS, MySQL, relational database, and non-relational database, MongoDB, and Firebase. And then there is also Express.js, and I have experience with Puppeteer and Electron.js and all that. So let's get started. So for today, the idea is we are going to be handling a fixed navigation. So uh, this is it. I have a simple HTML mockup here. As you can see, it's in a block format. So when we scroll, the navigation overflows deep into our y-axis and it disappears away. And the idea is that when we scroll, regardless of how far we have scrolled away from our y-axis, we want our navigation to always be rendered at the top. So we have to move it from a block format to a fixed format. And we could easily go, okay, let's set it to fixed like this. And when we do that, as you can see, so I have gone ahead and already implemented a few CSS classes here with the attributes. So what we are going to target is this block class and this first class. We are going to dynamically interchange them. So we could have just forgotten about dynamically interchanging them and then just gone like this. So if I were to target my main, I would give it a margin top of 50 pixel. And yeah, that would do it. But with web development, it's not really a good idea to always give such static uh, sizes to elements. So we will dynamically be rendering them, especially if you have experience, you know that with good web application, you always it needs to be dynamic. Elements need to be dynamic. So what we are going to do is going to put this back into its block format. Yes, and then this is it. Let's go. So over here, I've gone ahead and then initialized an event, scroll event onto the window. And then I have given, uh, I have set this window dot page while set to this variable current scroll position, and I'm console logging it. So let's go and inspect our console. So if I were to scroll now, we would get integers. And this integers currently signify our current position on the y-axis. So as we go, when I go to the very top, we get a point zero here, and that is what we are aiming for. So immediately we shift from point zero. I would like my class. This is my navigation class. It's currently on block. I would like to switch it from block to a fixed class, and we are going to use JavaScript. So all we need to do is target our navigation. So document get elements by ID, and then nav. As you can see here, I've given this navigation an ID of nav. So what we are going to do is I'm going to initialize a conditional statement. So if nav is true, the reason why I am doing this is that when you are building complex applications, you tend to have multiple layouts. And then you could have a layout for guests, you could have a layout for logged in users, administrative users, and you could have layouts for maybe just your login page, your registration page, your, let's say you have a checkout cart. You could have multiple layouts, and this layout will not always have the same elements present. And if I don't use this conditional statement here and I initialize this window scroll event, it will throw an error in our console, and I don't want this error. So we are going to use a conditional statement to handle this. Okay, so I'm sorry about the airplane. I actually live right underneath one of these airline space. This right near an airport. So uh, the planes just go by a lot. So let's go. So after I have set this conditional statement, only when the nav is in true, we will go ahead and then set another conditional statement, which is, so we could do it like this, or we could also go like this. Okay, let me just go this. If nav is true and current position is greater than 0, then we will actually start, let's start to remove. We are first of all going to remove a block class, and then after that we are going to go ahead then add our fixed class. Else we're going to do the opposite, which is nav dot class list dot remove. Going to take out our fixed class, and then we are going to add our block class. Let's go ahead and see it. So as you can see, it's already working. Since we are no longer on point 0, it has switched to a fixed element. And let's look at exactly, this is it fixed. But if we were to go back to what's going on here? Okay, so this is it, and when we go back, oops, this is it. I need to add block. So yes, this is it. So when we move, this is it. Regardless of our scroll points, we still get it. Yes, and then when we get back to point 0, it immediately switches to a block element. So that's all for today. This is pretty simple but an extremely useful skill to have in your web development journey. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to this channel, and I'm going to leave down a few links to our GitHub, our showcase, dev blog, and then our Twitter. So just follow me. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Jeffrey, and now you'll be hearing from me most of the time on this channel, but then we'll have other developers coming in to also handle a few tutorials here. So I'll see you soon. Goodbye.